Good afternoon and welcome to the Cloud Native Coffee Hour. My name is Dan McCracken, and I'm here with my good friend, Dan Makita. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. We have such an exciting stream today. We are going to do some amazing Kubernetes work, and you guys are going to be amazed.
Massive content. Next time I'm going to say amazing content.
It's going to be double amazing.
And
amazing squared.
Last week, we did a live demo. I say we loosely. You did a live demo of Talos Linux. And before the stream, it wasn't working. And during the stream, miraculously, we upgraded a version and things started to work. And today, do you want to give us a glimpse of what you think we're going to cover?
I have not prepped this. I actually do not know how to do this going into it. I've not practiced it. So you're going to see live flailing at adding a Talos worker node. The only thing I did to prep for it was flash the SD card. Perfect. So same exact process we went through last week. So if you missed that process, go back on YouTube and check out the video from last week, because we walk you through how to flash an SD card for Raspberry Pi 4 running Talos OS.
And that cluster is a single node control plane cluster, and it is running right now.
I have not checked on it, but I would assume it is still running.
That's where we'll start. I assume that's where we'll start our journey.
Sure. Let's double check, make sure that node is still healthy, up and running, because I haven't touched it since we ended the stream. So last time I checked, let's just use K9s here. K9s. There it is. Control plane ready. Oh, that's right. The last thing I did was install the trivia operator. Forgot about that. And it's running. I was curious to see, they advertised Talos as a pre-hardened Kubernetes distribution. So I was going to run the trivia operator with the CIS benchmarks and see what came out. But
right.
I never finished that. And when I did deploy it, it strapped the pod quite a bit. Or it strapped the node, because we only had a single node, and it is a pretty heavy operator. So I kind of want to delete that before we start.
Okay. Yeah, follow your heart. You're the admin. I would say leaving it is also fine. I don't think that's any huge deal.
All right, we'll leave it. We can leave it. So I guess where we'll go from here, you guys, we're going to see ourselves here briefly. We have to have a second node. You saw this last time. This is our Ubiquity switch that all of our nodes are plugged into. It should be, I'm going to leave camera view real quick, but it should be node 6, I believe. Yep, it is node 6. So I'm going to plug it in here.
Okay.
Let it boot up. Should turn green, hopefully. I actually don't know if this updates dynamically or not. Kind of would expect it to. But...
And so what you've got on there is a fresh flashed SD card of just blank Talos, right? So it's got the boot record bit, Talos image on it. Okay.
That is correct. Yep. Let's just pop to a different switch here and pop back. Not showing.
Node 6 on that one's showing.
That is our printer.
Okay.
And it disappeared for some reason. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. It's old hardware.
Node 6. Still waiting for a client here.
So we're waiting for an IP for Node 6, right?
That's correct. Yeah, so we've got nothing here right now. Let me just refresh the page. See if that'll help.
And I'll pull up the Talos documentation. We're doing that.
Node port 6. Still nothing. That's okay. We can wait. Let me make sure there's not an error. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like there might be an error.
Okay.
With the boot. So I did flash a second one. So let me swap that out real quick.
Okay.
I'm getting 4 blinking green lights, and I believe if it boots successfully, it's just a constant blink.
Okay.
But it's going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'd have to look up what that is. But 1 second.
Checking. And you're referring to the Raspberry Pi Ethernet green blink, right? Because we're all PoE.
I believe if you go to Talos's documentation here, let me just see here.
Yes.
Talos OS Raspberry Pi. Yep, there we go. And I believe at the bottom here, yeah, here we go. Short flashes. 4. Start.elf not found. So it is an error. So let me swap to a different card here.
That's cool. And I will put this in chat for anyone interested to follow along at home.
All right, bad news. Other cards doing the exact same thing. So let me try one more thing before I have to go flash another card, which we can do live. It just took a really long time for some reason today.
Or I mean, okay.
Because I did it live on stream last time and it was pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this time it took like 15 minutes to flash one card.
Maybe those cards aren't so good.
All right, let's just flash a new card. Let me go grab. I wasn't prepared to flash, so let me go grab a card reader. 1 sec.
Roger.
I am back. I did, when I took one of the cards out today, it was a newer looking 64 gigabyte one.
Okay.
So let me try using that one instead.
Okay. And that, okay. I would actually expect those potentially to fail more often than the old 32s that were in the good side of the SD card holder. There is a bad side. All of the bad SD cards I have marked with permanent marker.
Yes. All right, here we go.
System.
Let's see if we can flash this guy.
All right.
And let me make sure. Let me just recheck here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do the SD card boot. Boot from SD card if available. Perfect. That's what we want. Next. Yes. Interesting. All right. Flashing SD card. So for everyone that missed our stream last week, here you go. Here's a refresher.
And you've selected what as the operating system? Just boot?
It's just a boot image. So it's just it's gonna be what do they call it? An EEPROM? Yes, this thing.
Okay. Select miscellaneous utility images under the operating system tab. Okay.
And we're done. Okay. So now that that's done, I can take it out. I can put it back in. And then we're going to go over here. And we're going to do clear. And we are going to unmount disk 2, because that is what this mount says. It has been unmounted successfully. Next, we are going to write the .raw file that we downloaded to the disk. And hopefully it doesn't take 15 minutes.
And that's the name of Metal ARM64 raw. That's our image.
Correct. They do not version the image, the artifact. That's the word I was going to use. They don't version the artifacts in GitHub. So you basically have to go to the GitHub page, go to releases. I can actually show it while we're waiting.
Well, and this is what we did on the fly last week, where you went from 1.7.0 is in their documentation. You went and found a more current release, 1.7.4, potentially.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So yeah, here's 1.7.4, and they have an image for
lots of
pretty much anything. GCP, Exascale, DigitalOcean, Azure, everything you want. And we're using the Metal version, which is, I passed it right here. Metal 64 raw.
Yeah.
So that's what we download.
And I actually, when I was doing a little bit of prep for this, I noticed that you can run Talos inside of Kubernetes. So not only is Talos Metal contains a Kubernetes ecosystem, but it appears that you can also run a Talos pod, or app. And it may not necessarily be Kubernetes inside of that. Maybe it is. Maybe that's the Kubernetes in Kubernetes. But I did stumble upon something where it was like, oh, you could run this inside Kubernetes.
I don't know what that means.
In the documentation, since we have a couple minutes potentially, I went to documentation. Yeah, okay. Documentation and then Kubernetes guides. I was like, oh, Kubernetes guides. Network and configuration, if you open these up. Maybe it could just be Talos Linux guides. Which one was I on? Talos Linux guides. How-tos. Where was it? There was something where it was running Talos inside Kubernetes. It's like, what?
I can't even guess what that would mean, to be honest.
Here we go. If you search for... Wow. If you search for introduction, Talos in Kubernetes, you should find it. I'm not crazy. Good news, I'm not crazy. Although this feature may be crazy.
Which one?
It's called
this one? Running Talos pods?
I was looking at, this is it. But I went to introduction, and then what's new in Talos 1.7.
Okay.
And down below platforms. There is
Talos Linux now supports running Talos inside Kubernetes as a pod, e.g. to run control plane nodes inside. Ooh, okay, I know what this is. I do know what this is. Okay, so when I was introduced to this, this is called Hypershift.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hypershift. Let's see if they have a picture here. Yep, here's the picture. Yes, one of our clients was considering this. And I've never done it, so I don't really have any experience on this. But the idea is that you have, multiple clusters for your workloads, and this helps out in like DR type situations. But control planes, so especially in bare metal situations too, if you want a highly available Kubernetes cluster, you need 3 control plane nodes. Well, control plane nodes don't need to be very powerful, especially if you don't elect for them to be schedulable, which you wouldn't do typically in a production enterprise type environment. And it can be kind of expensive to run multiple control planes because you need 3 of them. And then usually when you have a lot of infrastructure, you don't want a different set of servers of a different size and configuration from the rest of your service because it's just more to manage. So in comes something like Hypershift, or apparently Talos has that feature now too, where you can have virtual control planes. So you have like one master cluster that has a whole bunch of virtual control planes in it that actually talk to physical workers and manage them. So you can actually just have one control plane cluster, basically.
Kind of blows my mind.
We are still waiting.
Interesting.
Very interesting. It's interesting that Talos now has that capability.
Yeah. And I mean, when I heard OpenShift people talk, when I heard Red Hat talk about it for OpenShift, I was like, okay, I think I get that, because OpenShift is going to build lots of fun tooling to install OpenShift, and they control the installer, and they're really all up in it. This actually makes it a little simpler in my mind. Like, knowing how Talos, you just spin it up and it's good to go. All you need is Talos Cuddle access to something, and you can really manage all your stuff. You don't need a huge OpenShift control plane to be running Hypershift-like multi-cluster, potentially. Boy, isn't that something we could do someday if we're really bored?
I mean, we definitely could. I mean, we have enough pies to do that. We would need to do a little setup, though. I think we would have to have a pre-stream day where we get a lot of stuff. We'd have to create these clusters and get them ready to go.
Maybe get some new SD cards.
Yeah, last stream did not take this long, did it?
I don't know. Open another. I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to check to see what's being written. You could check to see the size of the contents on that SD card, maybe.
I mean, I'm sure it's working, but we'll find out.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't remember what reader I used last time. It wasn't this one. I'm using a off-brand, an off-brand little like USB hub thing, and I I don't know. I don't know if it has a read write that's just really slow, maybe.
Shout out to Amazon Basics.
Pretty much. Hopefully this works. I mean, I flashed 2 cards just in case. That's
So
really
let's pivot to, let's assume this works. What's going to be the very next command that we run in order to assign this new Talos agent? Essentially, we'll have a blank Talos agent living on a Raspberry Pi that is fresh. It'll have an IP address that we refer to it as. And this is it.
This is the command. We will refer to its new IP address right where my cursor is.
Okay.
And we're going to do it interactive mode. So once we go into the interactive GUI, we point it at the IP address of the control plane.
Gotcha. That's right. Because as it sits now, we have a cluster. It has a name, and it's like a default name. Like we could, once you could automate this so that it refers to that Talos cluster as whatever and add it with a one-liner. I like the interactive a lot, but what did we name our cluster?
I think I can check. I can check that, and I'll just do it in K9s because I find it easier.
Talos
name.
default.
Yes, Talos
Default
cluster.
So Talos Cuddle view config or something like what sort of Talos interactivity would tell us more about what's going on?
With what?
Can I do a Talos? My brain is stuck in the multi-cluster land. Can I do a Talos Cuddle view clusters or something?
Let's see. We've got
get clusters.
Get specific resources or a list of resources. So I think that is whatever cluster you're pointing at.
Okay. And we have a do Talos Cuddle config. Might let us view the, because I assume Talos is giving us, it probably follows the same sort of paradigm as Kubernetes, where
list defined. Okay, so we can say contexts. So there's the different Talos clusters. And the current one we're pointing at is Talos cluster 1, apparently. So, because I did this so many times, maybe it's just it keeps track of all of that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm seeing that now. It's like it either creates 3 little contexts. Nodes not defined. Okay.
Nodes not defined.
Node.
So I wonder if I can say set the current context. So I could say config set Talos cluster. It didn't like that. What did I do wrong?
I think it's Talos config context, then the cluster name. I think you get rid of the set.
It's okay. I think I can do maybe Talos default. Did I spell that right? Talos default space Talos cluster. Then we'll do It did change the context, though.
It did change it. It didn't say. Oh, okay. Oh, the other one was not defined. I gotcha.
Interesting. Okay, it is done.
1 billion bytes transferred in a billion seconds.
All right, here we go. Popping it out.
This one will work.
Hopefully.
Guaranteed.
I'm actually going to try a different node.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I am getting the exact same thing.
No kidding.
I don't know why. I'm not doing anything differently than last time. But I will check. I'll just double check that I didn't just completely blank on a step or something. So we've got we're just gonna go latest version here. I will go to installation, single board computers, Raspberry Pi. Here we go. Use the imager. If successful, the LED light will blink rapidly forever. All right. Hold on. I'm going to try a different writer. I thought this is the one I used last time, but when I tried to use it earlier, it didn't work.
Really?
I'm going to try it again. Trying it again. Device. Raspberry Pi 4. Operating system. Miscellaneous utilities. Bootloader. SD card boot. That's what I want. Storage. There it is. Perfect. Okay. Next. Yes. And this time, I will just double check that it works because it says power the Raspberry Pi on and wait at least 10 seconds. If successful, the green LED light will blink rapidly forever. Otherwise, an error pattern will be displayed. So I will check it after this step this time.
Question.
Answer.
The LED that you are seeing the 4 blinks on, is it the Ethernet LED or the LED on the back of the Pi?
On the back of the Pi.
Okay. Excellent and terrible. It's broken.
Okay. Checking. Here we go.
Bootloader only. Live troubleshooting. Massive content. Learning in public. Okay, I hear him clicking.
Okay. We are successful with that.
Solid green.
Flashing green.
Flashing
Non-stop
green.
forever.
Perfect.
Okay. So next step. I have the card again. I have plugged it in. Now it could just be the writer. So I'm using a different writer this time.
Okay.
All right. Let's go back over here. Now we do a disk util unmount.
Where does it? Because I don't see that in the docs.
Yep. If you try to run this command without unmounting, it says disk is mounted, unmount.
Roger.
But I already ran it, so I can't show you.
That's fine.
Let's double check this command. Sudo dd if the image of equals the disk fsync and 4 megabytes. So I am going to run it. Type in password. And hopefully it runs faster this time because I'm using the writer I used last time.
Okay. It's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, SD card writers, who knows?
Because the one I used just now was this guy. Has a little handle.
That's not the best one in the world, probably.
It's made by a company called Lemarelli, which I've never heard of.
Who we don't endorse. Yet.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Okay.
I mean, this other one's made by a company called Totu, which I don't know either. So.
But that's been a tried and true device for you.
It has. I mean, I've had this Totu one for years. I just couldn't get it to work earlier.
Interesting.
When I said I can't, what I mean when I say I couldn't get it to work is I would plug it into my USB drive and it just wouldn't show up.
But it did this time.
But it did this time. Yeah. I don't know. Hardware, man.
Let's go shop. Yeah, I'm going to shop some SD cards real quick.
I like it. Yeah. I don't know the state of our SD cards. It looks like every one of our Pis has one, though.
Yeah. But not every one of our Pis works well with it, as we found out.
Fair. Hey, it's done.
That seems a lot healthier.
That was a lot faster. Okay.
That was 6 times faster. Jeez.
And it's not burning anymore.
Yay.
All right. Popping it in. If I can get my my big old fingers back there.
Yeah, actually, the cost of these SD cards has only come down since the last time we bought. So, way to go, Solid State Media. Appreciate you a lot.
I have good news. It seems to be working. So, back to where we should have been like 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
This time I put it in a Pi that was just a little bit closer because I was having trouble getting all the way back to the one I chose. So we are looking at port 3.
Okay.
Which doesn't have something right now. Refreshing. Still doesn't have something.
Give it a second to boot. There we go.
Yeah? Oh, fantastic. Okay. So let's grab it here. Let's grab the IP address. 192.168.1.28. All right. Let's pop over here. We'll get the command. Let's do 192.168. There we go. And we're going to do 28, correct?
Okay.
Correct. Here we go. Yay, we're in.
All right.
Okay, we can take defaults there. Next. Machine type is going to be a... Okay, I don't have an option to choose something else.
Interesting.
So let's not finish this.
Checking the documentation.
Yes.
So we've done everything to bootstrap the node. Once interactive install is applied, the cluster will form and you can see it. And that's all it says. Okay. Do you like promote a node from control plane to worker? By maybe? Worker node.
I kind of expected that if they had a drop down to select whether it was a worker or not.
One would think.
But you know what? Maybe I can pass in the fact that it has a endpoint. Yeah, -- cluster. I thought I saw that somewhere.
Okay.
There's also -e for endpoints. I think that's what I want to use. So let me try -e. I'll do 192.168.1.15. There it is. Got it. So you have to pass in the control plane.
Or else it's going to create a new cluster for you.
Correct.
Now, that's very strange that it wouldn't just inherit the Talos context. And that's half the reason why I asked or wanted to probe at that earlier, because it's like, hey, I'm in this cluster's context, create me a worker, but that's not the case.
Well, I think that is a possibility if you look at the docs.
Okay.
I think there's a section down here. Where was it? Maybe it's not in these docs. There is a way to like set your Talos config to like point at it. I don't know how to do it. I kind of jumped. Control plane endpoint. I've already passed it in. I don't think I need to do anything else.
I would leave these blank.
All right. We're just going to leave it blank and go. Oh.
Okay. X509.
Okay. So I think I have to set the context.
Yeah.
So let's. You want to look up the docs?
Yep. -- context.
So the name of the cluster we're connecting to is Talos default, Talos cluster.
Which is a very strange cluster name. But that is the cluster name. It has a space in it.
And that is what I am connected to, correct?
Yeah.
Nodes not defined. Talos CTL-H. Config. Manage the client configuration. Talos config. Add, set the context, list defined context, set the endpoint for the current context. Okay, let's do that. Config endpoint 192.168.1.15.
Which is what it was before.
Info.
So like if we ever wanted to take that cluster, then move the endpoint to be some load balancer or something, I think that would allow us to do that.
I'm going to try this one more time here. See if that made any difference.
Okay. Now, we didn't specify the context outside of just setting the context on our Talos cuddle, right?
True. I'm also going to set the IP of the endpoint here.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to go for it.
Okay. Failed handshake. We're running in insecure mode. For reasons. While trying to verify candidate authority. So we may... override the default endpoints. Target specified nodes. So you put... quick question.
Yep.
I'm just looking at the Talos cuddle reference stuff. What was the change that we made to the command? You added a -E?
Correct. I added -E for the control plane.
Gotcha. And then it said, and you added the -N for nodes, or -- nodes. Target.
Correct.
Oh, that says target this node, use this endpoint.
There's --cert fingerprint.
Defaults to node check. And we're running insecure. So maybe...
yeah, I'm at the point where I need to look at docs.
Yes, I am as well.
This is where I get paranoid that our stream now becomes very boring.
Well, if anybody watching has ever successfully done this, we do have a couple people that are trying to help in the comments. Appreciate it a lot. I feel like it's something silly if we're just getting a cert, basically X509. Hey, this new node is trying to connect to the cluster, but it's not trusting it. It's kind of the error. In fact, if you wouldn't mind pulling up that error again and then dropping that in chat to me.
Can do.
That might give us a breadcrumb to go on off stream, and then we'll come back with some big brain solution next week.
Could you take down my screen for a second?
What screen? Definitely.
There you go. There's the error code. Let me do a quick search here. Keep my screen down for a moment, please.
Yes, this is X509 unknown authority. Failed to verify X509 certs. Now, what is trying to handshake to what? I'm not sure if it's the new potential worker trying to talk to the control plane and being like, I don't trust this. Kind of figured that that's part of the Talos magic. It handles all the token auth pieces.
Please hold. Where's the command I used? Right here. We're going to solve this. Let's see.
All that I'm finding is like where you create a Talos config and then you use that apply config to this new node. We're trying to do it interactive, not do that, which so it should be fine. It's not like we have to do that.
I guess my expectation would have been that because it knows, I mean, it created the control plane, it has the certificate already. I would expect it to like fetch that.
Mm-hmm. Correct. I'm on their GitHub.
And I don't
for this
know.
error.
I don't know if this whole nodes not defined is an issue.
Which one?
When we do a Talos CTL config info, it comes back with nodes not defined.
Okay.
You can show my screen again if you want.
That is interesting. Do a Talos Cuddle version -- nodes. And then you have to put in the node of the, yep. So that right there is our problem.
Agreed.
Try that for our 28. I don't think it'll do anything because it's
28 hasn't done anything yet.
Right. It has a Talos image on it, but it's not configured to do anything, right?
Right.
It says the same thing.
It does say the same thing.
I wish it didn't. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that is interesting. Because we're in K9s, or is there a way to view the Talos dashboard logs? Did the Talos dashboard logs show us that error at the moment? Because this could be just a series of misfortunes of the cluster in K9s looks great.
We can no longer see the Talos dashboard.
Okay. So we will not chase this too far because we are looking one layer too deep.
Right. So the problem is my local context is bad. Let me
you want to try one more thing?
Do we have to end
this?
Stream?
Nope. Maybe a -1. It was that. It's literally because I had you screw that. Okay, try it again.
Here we go.
Probably don't even need the endpoint thing anymore.
Maybe.
Worker.
Next. Install. Hey, it worked immediately.
The beauty of doing this on the internet is we can cut 40 minutes of this stream and be right back down to business.
But doesn't it upload automatically?
Yeah, I'll have Sam fix it in post.
It's funny. Okay, well, I mean, K9s, I guess. Nodes.
Or try. What's our dashboard look like? I assume it's going to take a hot second for some of those components to fire up. Machines 2.
Oh, nice. I was trying to find that. F2. Nope.
Not yet.
Okay, error acquiring mutex for key. That's a D service request timed out.
These are old logs. A little old.
Okay, let's check K9, see if it shows up yet. Hey, there it is. And it's ready.
And it's ready.
And
that lead.
See, we could have been done a long time ago, Dan.
I wasn't worried. But in doing so, now we know how to well, what else did we learn? We learned that Talos context really matters. We learned that you had 3 of them we're not exactly sure why. That might have been intentional. Could have been just because of old attempts. We learned how to change the context.
This is important to use.
Get a high quality, old school Makita SD card, micro SD card writer.
Yep.
4 flashing green lights on a Raspberry Pi equals bad. And Talos Cuddle version with the node will give you some health information to let you know if your Talos Cuddle's in working order or not. Lots of things today.
Lots of little gotchas.
Yep.
Things that we didn't necessarily need to run into, but we're learning the intricacies. I still like it. I think next, if we want to continue this series on Talos, if we're doing this, I feel like we're doing these little mini streams on Talos here. It's just create a control plane node, create a worker node. I think the next one would be create one of each of those nodes again, but do it with a configuration file instead.
Okay. So you can recreate it a little more predeterministic. Yeah, systematically.
Yep. And then at that point, I think we'd be ready to have our own work center around, maintaining this cluster.
Sure.
There's a stream we could do on a Talos upgrade as well if we wanted.
Definitely the upgrade, either upgrading, because there's 2 things to upgrade. There's upgrading Talos, the OS, and upgrading the Kubernetes control plane, upgrading the workers, the version of Kubernetes, right?
So the version of Kubernetes right now is 130.1. Let's see if there's a newer patch version available here. Oh, let's see. 130.2 is available.
Oh, cool.
So we could probably run if we wanted to. I don't know if we have time today. But let's see here. Talos CTL, upgrade K8s.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we have to wait for the Talos edition of that .2. Be interesting. Yeah, what's it do?
Flags. Cube API server image to use. Is there just a version? Okay, so 2. Yeah. Default is 130.1. So we'll do.
Oh,
I mean, so we could do. Hold on.
you could try to boost it.
Dash from 130.1 dash 2 130.2. I kind of want to just run it.
Go ahead.
It's a playground, right? Nodes are not set for the command. Please use dash nodes flag or configuration file to set the nodes to run the command against. Okay.
It's so weird.
Dash nodes. Let's just do the new worker we just installed.
All right.
All right, here we go. It's only available on the control plane nodes. Okay. 15.
I'm surprised it didn't make us upgrade Talos Cuddle. It's pretty boring. It's doing stuff.
It is doing stuff. I'm very curious if this is going to work. I'm kind of I'm impressed right now. We'll see if it actually applies them.
Run a kubectl get nodes dash o wide in your other tab. While that's going.
Isn't there just a built-in watch command now?
Yes. The interesting thing is it didn't show. Maybe Nodes doesn't show Kubernetes version.
It's right there.
Am I blind? Am I blind? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Version. I was like over in OS land and kernel.
So it's pulling the images.
Yeah.
Still.
Oh, it's doing the worker too. Did you see that?
Looking.
.28. I was wondering why it was doing kubelet twice.
Oh. It is doing the worker.
Yep.
Config version mismatch. Got 1, expected 2. Waiting for Kube API server pod update. Machine configuration patch. I don't know why I'm reading this in a backwards order, but. Right, so it's waiting for the pod to repop up here. This died, which is a good sign.
Yep.
I do like that it's just running as a pod. Oh, it's so nice.
Come on, Kube API server.
It's thinking. Let's see if anything happens with this. Ready, true. I would expect it to succeed this time. Oh, no, still said 62.
Where'd you see ready true?
Right here. It said false a second ago.
Oh, okay.
Kubernetes version is 30.1. Apply config request mode, no reboot. New version 2. Hey, it worked.
It's doing stuff.
Successfully updated the API server. Now it's going on to the controller manager.
Wow. And it's just going to do all the work.
Which, if the API server is up, we should be able to actually watch the pods now. In K9s would be my guess.
Nice. I'm a little surprised they didn't cordon those.
Right, so here's API server's 49 seconds old. This one's 23 seconds old.
There you go. And I do see, we're still getting a couple timeouts here while it's rebooting, but the Kubernetes version did update to 30.2.
I saw that.
Run another nodes real quick. Those should be, maybe it didn't do the worker yet, but
we're on the scheduler now.
Okay.
Let's see if K9's back up. Oh, please hold. Let's do the dashboard. Ready is false. Ready is false. It's really cool, though, that this Talos has like an agent or something running on the node itself that you can connect to.
It's really cool. It feels really nice. So that's a lot of the time, when we're setting up normal or, clusters from scratch, it's like, I got to go do a lot of Linuxy things all over the place to double check to see what's going on. And this is like, no, we'll take a peek for you. It's like, that's amazing.
Health check was successful. Still, ready, true. We're back up. Let's see what the update looks like. Waiting for Kubelet to restart on the worker now.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
Stuff is happening. It applied a whole bunch of new manifests. Okay. It looks okay. So the one that's on my screen right now is for the Kube proxy, which it updated from 1.1 to 0.2.
Yeah, I think it's just showing us the diffs. These are all nothings.
It's still running. So let's go back into K9s. And look at that. Both of them have version 130.2. The API server is 130.2. Let's look at the pods here. Kube proxy.
Yep.
130.2 right down here. Scheduler.
Beautiful.
I clicked on it, but it's not doing anything.
Oh, it's actively. It's not all done.
Oh, there it goes. Yep, this is 130.2. I mean, it looks pretty good to me. Holy crap. Let's check this out. Oh, That's probably why it's having issues.
Does it not run on ARM?
It does. It does. I just, for some reason, these take so long to come up, and then like it struggles.
Really? That's
so
weird.
hard.
All right.
It's running.
Well, now we have workers, so.
It's true.
All right. Anything else?
I think we're good. These are the vulnerability reports. One sec. Since we're like digging into all sorts of stuff here. Medium, high, critical. The Trivy operator
You hate to see it.
has a critical vulnerability. Core DNS has 3. Title: multiple HTTP2 enabled web servers are vulnerable to DDoS attack. Okay. Well, I think that is our demo today. I think we did well. We added, so in review, we skipping all of our struggles with just flashing a card and setting the context incorrectly. What we did today is we created a new worker node, joined it to the existing control plane, and then we upgraded the entire cluster, both nodes, to the newest version of Kubernetes. I think that's pretty good.
Hit the dinger, would you?
Yes.
You let me know.
Ready?
Let me know when that cluster's ready.
It's ready. Aww.
Perfect.
Cool. All right. Were there any questions in the chat? Because I have not been watching.
We've got Mohammed says, "Thank you for the demo."
You are so welcome, Mohammed.
And he was like, "Hey, maybe you need to select the cluster." And it turns out you were definitely right. We were not selecting the proper cluster.
Yep. It's because they were all named the same, and then when I went into K9s, it says it's named Talos cluster, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not the one that's selected, so I changed it, and that caused all the problems. So.
I know, it's like Talos default, Talos cluster 1.
I wish the name. It sounds like they took some liberties, and if you have the same named one, they're just going to add like a 1 or a 2 onto it. But what if you name it Talos Cluster 1? Is it going to be Talos Cluster 1-1? Like 1-1? I don't know. Anyways. Anything else you want to say to our dedicated viewers today?
I want to say thank you to, first of all, to you for your efforts in the micro SD card world and in the microcomputing world. Well done. And thank you to all of our viewers. I hope it proves very helpful. I think it does prove helpful to see other people with normal, these are normal frickin' struggles. Like, when you watch the 30-second clip of everything worked, yeah, it's great. This is what normally happens to everybody else, and they feel like it's just happening to me. No, it happens to everybody. And so you just got to keep on pushing through, and that's what we did. And I love it. So well done. I'm still a huge fan of Talos. Well done with the upgrade. We got to figure out those SD cards, but otherwise, I think we're in good shape.
Yes. There we go. Perfect. I can see you again. I haven't been able to look at you the entire time because I'm just on my laptop right now.
Let me tell you, you were at a disadvantage.
All right. Well, cool. I guess we will see you guys next week. I don't know if we're going to continue the series next week or we have different content. We kind of decide usually like the day before or the day of, but I'm enjoying the Talos journey, so expect more of that content soon.
Yep. Leave a comment, and maybe we'll do a demo on that next. See you next week, the Cloud Native Coffee Hour. Bye-bye.